Hello everyone! I had a random idea. I play a Minecraft hardcore world, and for the duration of that Minecraft hardcore world, I create a story off the top of my head and keep adding to it until I die, and when I die, that story is finished. Alright, let's think of a main character name. Let's think of a main character name before the world loads. There's an Elements of the Periodic thing on my wall. Let's name them Cobalt. Their name is... Nope, Zinc. Their name is Zinc. I know Cobalt. Their name is Zinc. Well, Zinc one day was walking through the woods, and they came across a shiny golden necklace. And they didn't exactly know what this necklace was, so they stuck it in their pocket and thought they could sell it. They continued walking and came across a golden ring. Now, quite confused that they found a golden necklace and a golden ring, they decided to check around the woodland area. They couldn't find any other jewelry, but they did find a rotten pit of a peach. There were no peach trees around, so they didn't exactly know where it came from. But they stuck it in their pocket along with the rest. Because this was a fantasy world, so not many people trespass with foreign objects. They continue walking down the road until they get to the nearby town. And in this town, they find an old woman who's on the street corner begging. She says, please, can you give me one thing? One thing. And the person, did I forget their Zinc. And Zinc looks down at the old woman. And Zinc, not being the best character, gives her the rotten peach pit instead of the horrible... No. They gave her the rotten peach pit instead of the necklace or the ring. The woman looks up at Zinc and smiles. Zinc feels that the smile is quite stiff, like she knows that he has something better. I guess that Zinc uses like he they pronouns. Okay. Zinc starts to back away from the woman and goes about their day. In the night, while Zinc was sleeping, they had strange dreams. Dreams of the wilderness, of places they've never seen before, across the continent. They have only been around the town, so they don't exactly know what these places are. They see a desert, they see a deep woodland of trees they've never seen before. They saw a peach tree. And when Zinc woke up, they were in a different place from whence they fell asleep. And their clothes were all ragged. Their hands were covered in what they assumed to be strawberry jam. They sat up to find themselves in their neighbor's blackberry field, having eaten, or seemingly eaten, half of the blackberries. Zinc ran away before they could get responsibility for it. Zinc is not a very responsible person, I guess. Zinc goes back to the market and sees and Zinc goes back to the market and debates on whether to sell the extremely valuable looking ring and necklace. And Zinc, knowing that this is a pretty rural town, knows that probably not many people can afford it or afford all that it's worth. So Zinc decides to go to Zinc decides to travel and see whether he could sell it for something more. More like exactly what it was worth. Zinc starts to travel the continent alone. And every night he goes to sleep and he wakes up someplace completely different than when he fell asleep. And when he wakes up, he feels full. And nearby food or crops are gone. Slowly over the course of months, as Zinc goes around the continent, he starts to feed on less typical sorts of food. Where once he'd fed on berries and such, he woke up next to a tree to find all its bark was gone. He had splinters on his tongue for about a week after. Zinc goes along and once again crosses by the old beggar woman. Uh, the two meet eyes, and the woman is like, "Oh, it's you again. How has your months been?" Zinc kind of scoffs at her and says that my life has been miserable. I can't find anybody to sell my wares to. Nowhere is good enough. They have offered me kingdoms for it, but I know it is worth more. And the woman decides to, well, do you think I can appraise the two? They seem awfully wonderful. And Zinc says no, because she is simply an old beggar woman. The beggar woman just sits back with knowing eyes and allows him to leave. Zinc goes along his way, never finding a good deal for his ring and his necklace. But every morning waking up someplace different than when he went to bed. Until one day, he finds the town in hysteria. Zinc asks, "What is it? What happened?" Someone says that somebody in the town, somebody important, has went missing. Zinc, having woken up that morning, somewhat covered in blood, decides to leave the town straight away. Uh, no one finds this very suspicious. Definitely not, except an old woodsman who saw a uh saw a what's a saw a large raccoon walking around at night. I don't know, I needed an omnivorous. Um, the woodsman had followed this large raccoon and saw that it had fallen asleep and disappeared. Uh, Zinc woke up the next morning and found that, I once again taste iron in my mouth. And he goes back to the village, or he goes back to a separate village, and that separate village is in hysteria again, because once again one of the townspeople had been murdered. Zinc is confused, but he's like, oh, it couldn't have been me. It couldn't have been me. I'm not a murderer, and it's just a excuse. It's just an excuse. It's just a coincidence. Yeah, it's a coincidence. Zinc continues on and tries to find a deal to suit their valuable necklace and ring. But no one would buy. No one had the right price, or those who did own the right price no longer didn't feel the need for a beautiful ring or a beautiful necklace. Zinc, of course, just keeps looking. And every morning, the town he enters is in hysteria. Until one day he wakes up in the middle of the night to find himself being a raccoon. He finds himself in the morning to be a raccoon. He didn't change back. The man is now a raccoon. What? Zinc, no longer wanting to deny it, is horrified. He is the killer raccoon of the continent. He is the one everyone is so afraid of. So Zinc passes by the old beggar woman again, and the beggar woman greets him. Quite amiably. Especially since she's one of the only people who Zinc has seen 3 times, and all 3 of those times he's either lost consciousness for the first time, or yeah. So Zinc is like, old woman, did you do that to me? Did you do this? And the old beggar woman is like, may I please appraise the ring and the necklace? And Zinc is like, you just want to steal it. You wanna rat me out to everyone around here. And then steal the necklace, and it's mine. It's mine, old woman. I will It's mine, old woman. I will. Whoop. It's mine, old woman. You'll never get it. And the old woman's like, I don't want it. I have no need for it. Well, I do, but I don't. And the old woman is, and the, and all right, I'm gonna give myself like 30 seconds to finish the story. Zinc, scared, finally hands the beggar woman the ring and the necklace, and the old beggar woman kind of looks at these two and is like, oh, oh, oh. And Zinc is like, what is it? What is it? This is the curse of the raccoon. Yes. You turn into a big, huge raccoon every night. If you have both of these on your person. Or if you've touched both of these. And Zinc is like, oh, so you're gonna turn into a big raccoon now too. And the old beggar woman was like, oh no! I've had the cure. What's the cure? Well, rotten peach pit. Alright. I hope you remember that you are valid, you are worthy, you are loved, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed the story that came out of my head. Have a wonderful day. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Yay!